Despite their bad reputation and tendency to disrupt picnics, wasps are an important part of our ecosystem. This time of the year, it can seem like most outdoor activities are plagued by the flying insects. They appear to have lacked their usual numbers in 2024. Yeah, this story's been doing the rounds recently. Colder and wetter weather and climate change have had a global impact on the invertebrates. So where have all the wasps gone? Let's find out from an expert. Phil Martin runs PGM and Son Pest Control, covering Herefordshire and Worcestershire. Good morning, Phil. Thanks for your time on BBC Hereford and Worcester.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Good morning.
So, is there a definite decline? Fewer wasps flying around at the moment?
I think it's very difficult to say that just yet, because wasps normally come in sort of patterns anyway. So you normally have quite a good year. We had a very good year with wasps last. Well, we call it a good year. It depends which perspective you're coming from. So there was lots and lots of wasp nests last year, which sometimes mean the following 2 to 3 years are going to be sort of laid off a bit. They're not going to be as busy. But yeah, and you obviously got the climate. The climate change will interfere with somewhat, but not, I don't think, the levels they're saying now.
Well, it's interesting because the analogy has been made that, years ago, if you went on a road trip, you'd get out of the car, you'd look at the front of the car, and the bonnet will be just, full of squished insects. And you don't see that anymore on cars. And that analogy has been made over the past couple of days to do with this story.
Yeah, but I don't really think it's wasps. Been in the industry for the time we've been in, we know it works in that sort of pattern. So, I mean, if you spoke, I often get lots of pest controllers phoning me up saying, how are we doing with the wasps this year? And it's the same. But, I mean, if you got last year, we were inundated with wasps last year. And I would say in the next few years, the wasps will pick up again. I mean, most pest controllers, what we're doing is during the winter months and when it's cold, you're going through the lofts, you're checking for rodent activity and stuff like that. And that's when you'll see a lot of the wasps hibernating in the loft spaces. Well, we haven't seen that many this year. So was that because we didn't have such a hard frost? I don't think anyone truly knows, but I didn't see many wasps this year hibernating in lofts, which always is a good indicator of what the season's going to be like the following year.
All right. So in that case, what could you predict for next year on the basis of what you've seen so far this year?
I would like to say we're going to have another bumper year for wasps next year.
You would like to say, I suppose you would do being a pest controller, yeah.
Yes. Well, don't forget as well, wasps are terribly great early pollinators. So they're really handy to the ecosystem. A lot of people don't realise that. And they only really become aggressive, when it gets to sort of mid-August, late August, once all the fermenting fruit is on the ground and the queens have left the nest ready to sort of lay more eggs for the following years. So they'll start feeding off that fruit rather than feeding off the nectar that the queen supplies. And then they become aggressive, pretty much going out in Hereford on a Saturday night.
Well, yes, let's move on. So when you're, as a pest controller in that case, how do you deal with wasps? I mean, do you just take a nest and move it somewhere else, or are you actually killing them?
It depends. It depends. What we always do is with any sort of insect really, is it a public health issue? And 9 times out of 10 with wasps, it's a public health issue because they've become a pest. They've gone into someone's domain. They'll be like the nest will be in the eaves of the property, underneath the windowsills, potentially in the garden. And in that case, we will have to eradicate. Now, it doesn't always mean removing the nest because sometimes you can't get to it because it'll be in cavities of walls and stuff like that. But we've got different ways of doing it, different chemicals we use. We're pretty chemical conscious. So we won't use any chemicals outside that we can't really remove after, or they've got a long strength, like 100-year shelf life. So, yeah, and most pest controllers will be doing that as well.
What have you noticed in the last year in that case, Phil, that you spotted other than wasps, or maybe because there's fewer wasps, what have you spotted instead or been working on?
A lot more hornets this year.
Right. Oh, yeah, that seems to be a bit of a fear, actually.
And rightly so. They're big, they're noisy. I mean, again, they're not really aggressive, but they will defend in numbers if they feel attacked. And again, we've been out to a lot of jobs where there's hornets, where people are turning their lights on at night, going outside, and the hornets are attracted to the light, and they make such a noise, and they do panic people. So we give them some other stuff they can do, like putting little battery lights elsewhere to attract them to that rather than near the lights outside the house.
Are you dealing with moth infestations as well? There's a lot of that around.
Yeah, a lot of textile moth. Again, I would say that's because it's been a lot warmer, and they're sort of lasting a lot longer.
And there's a rumour, right? You're a pest controller, so you would normally deal with flying things. What's this about a snake?
Oh, well, yeah, my brother-in-law, he sent us a lovely picture of, he had a grass snake in his garden that he thought was a giant cobra stroke boa constrictor.
Mistaken identity.
No, lovely Simon, and he's terrified of snakes as well.
Well, I'm not. I don't blame him.
No, I mean, if you go on our website, you'll see the picture. We put it on there, and it's just to give people an idea that these are non-aggressive. These are passive animals. They're not really going to go. They don't want to be anywhere near you, and just to leave them well alone, really.
Right. Okay. Now you said about wasps not being aggressive until August time, for example, mid-August time. Right. If a wasp is in your vicinity, how would you deal with a wasp? Just a wasp? Do you swat it away, Phil? What do you do?
Yeah, definitely don't wave your arms around. And run away because it'll be attracted to you. The best thing you could do, really, I would say, is open a window and it will probably find its way out. It's just panicking. It doesn't want to be near you. But like I said to you, come when the fruit's on the ground, they will just sting you for no reason.
I heard a rumour, though, Phil, that the way to get rid of a wasp is to hold your arm out with a fist and quickly make your fist into a palm quickly, like a beacon, because they think it's a bird flying towards them. And it seems to work.
Well, I've never tried that, and I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, there we go, Phil. Thanks very much. The tone of your voice just dropped as I put that suggestion to you. I thought I was doing something quite revolutionary, because I do look a bit of an idiot when I'm out at a beer garden. A wasp is nearby. I'm there with my arms flashing around, not swatting or waving, just moving my fist in and out.
They probably think you've started a new dance craze.
Well. Oh, maybe I could. Oh, now Phil, that could be really good. There's something. The Wasp, brilliant. I'm gonna start that off. I'm gonna get some old disco music, and I'll start off a craze. Brilliant, Phil. That's your fault now. Problem. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers, take care.
Good to catch. Thank you, Phil Martin from PGM and Son Pest Control in Herefordshire and Worcestershire.